Are you at the DMV to get your plates?
Traveling from Los Angeles, California to Seattle, Washington, Amtrak's Coast Starlight brings passengers up and down the west coast of the United States every single day. During early 2021, my dad and I rode on this train from Los Angeles to the Bay Area. This is part 2 of a 3-part series from a trip in 2021, where I traveled with my dad on the Southwest Chief, Coast Starlight, and Caltrain. Along the way from LA to the Bay, we will see quite a couple of things, such as the LA Light Rail, Metrolink, a Surfliner train, and various pieces of equipment from the Southern Pacific days along the stations that the Coast Starlight travels through. And there will also be quite a lot of beautiful scenery that the Coast Starlight also passes through on a daily basis, even though when I made that trip it was tri-weekly because of COVID. Either way, let's take a ride on the Coast Starlight. While Dad and I didn't do too much while at Santa Monica, we did do a few things. I filmed an April Fool's prank video about Splatoon 3 since that day was April Fool's.
I just saw a video and there are a lot of Splatoon 3 leaks. Obviously I can't show them now because I'm not 100% sure about copyright, but go into the link in the description down below to see the video of the Splatoon 3 links.
The video in the description was a "you just got coconut mauled" video. Went to the boardwalk and had breakfast there, as well as went on to Santa Monica Pier. We also hung out with a relative who lives in the LA area, only to forget to take a photo with her. Also, here's a photo of me on the Santa Monica Pier. We're now on the Expo line and head to Metro Center Station in order to get to LA Union Station.
Now arriving. 17th Street SMC Station. Connect here with Big Blue Bus weekday routes 41, 42, and 44 to Santa Monica College. Thanks for going Metra. We're on this ride together, so please don't play loud music, block the aisles or exits, or take up more than one seat. Park bikes in designated areas. And to help us get you there on time, please don't hold the doors open. The next stop is 26th Street, Bergamot Station. Connect here with Big Blue Bus weekday route 16 to Marina del Rey and 43 to San Vicente. Now arriving, 26th Street, Bergamot Station. Connect here with Big Blue Bus weekday route 16 to Marina del Rey and 43 to San Vicente. Please stand clear. The doors are closing. Closing. The next stop is 7th Street Metro Center in downtown LA. Exit here for Big at 7th and the Block. Connect here with
Metro B line red and B line purple downstairs. And remember to tap again to transfer. If exiting the station, please use the Figueroa or Flower Street exit, as the Hope Street exit is temporarily closed.
Arriving 7th Street Metro Center in downtown LA. As far as this train goes, exit here for Big at 7th and the Block. Connect here with
Metro B line red and B line purple downstairs. And remember to tap again to transfer.
Since I made this trip, the regional connector opened in 2023, and therefore people can go from Santa Monica to LA Union Station a little more seamlessly. However, since it's 2021, we had to transfer onto the subway.
You don't have to say. Alright.
Very conveniently though, there wasn't an escalator that was going down to the subway level, so we had to carry our bags.
Geez, someone spilled their food. Dad, hurry up!
And thankfully, we got there just in time for our train to get here. The cars we're riding on are Breda-built A650 cars, which were with the subway lines since they first opened in 1993. However, they're getting old, and as a result, LACMTA ordered the HR4000, which are set to replace the 30 cars that were built from 1988 to 1993. However, the HR4000s were built by CRRC, and because of various acts put in place by the Biden administration that ultimately negatively impacted CRRC stock, LACMTA instead turned to Hyundai Rotem to build the HR5000 cars to replace the entire fleet. And honestly, in my opinion, the HR5000s look better than the HR4000s, at least in the renders. I hope they look the same when they're ultimately built. If you hear any announcements about them saying that some exits are temporarily closed, I believe that could have been for regional connector construction.
The doors are closing.
That was weird.
And last stop is Union Station. Please use the entry exit as the Outskirts Street exit is temporarily closed. As far as this train goes, please use this entry to exit as the LAUPT Street exit is temporarily closed.
And here with Metro Gold and Silver Lines, Silver Street, Metro and Municipal Buses, Gold Bus, Megabus, LAX Flyaway, Metrolink, and Amtrak.
Conectati para líneas Gold, Silver de Metro, Silver Street, autobuses de Metro y Cuesta, Gold Bus, Megabus, LAX Flyaway, Metrolink y Amtrak.
We got some breakfast before getting on the platforms of LA Union Station, just in time for the Coast Starlight to arrive on the platform. We boarded our train. Although we are not going to be traveling on the train by night, we still chose to book the sleeper car.
We get breakfast. And then down that is
While we waited for the train to depart, an Amtrak Surfliner train arrives at the station. The Surfliner is Amtrak's third busiest route and goes from San Luis Obispo to San Diego. You probably also better know this Amtrak route if you're a subscriber to 5008 Creations. Oh wait, Whitestone's Rail. You know, the dude who has had beef with the MPXpress his whole life. Since he also films Coaster along with the Surfliner. The Surfliner also used Siemens-built SC-44 Chargers. This line originally used the F-59 PHI, and Amtrak was going to use the F-59 PHI for a lot longer than they actually did, but Hey Amtrak, I heard you purchased a new fleet of locomotives for your Pacific Surfliner and Cascades routes. Give me your F59 PHIs. Actually, we're gonna keep the F59 PHIs for a lot longer because we want to work out the kinks in the chargers before we can actually replace the F59 PHIs. Oh, is that so, huh? Well, in either case, give me your F59 PHIs. Why do you want my F59 PHIs? You have plenty of F40s, right? And your rail fans love F40s, so what's the problem with you just working with your F40s? Hate to be the breaker of bad news, pal, but the F40s aren't necessarily enough for the operations. Okay, I know you want to increase your operations, but still, you already have F40s, and I need the F59 PHIs for longer, so no. Do it or I'll call a certain someone at the Mafia to whack ya. You are aware that I'm just as experienced with Chicago as you are, right? Or else I'll tell somebody to hand over operations at Union Station from you to me. Alright, fine. Jesus H. Christ. Well, thank you, Amtrak. Oh, perfect. My hopes for the Pacific Surfliner operations being somewhat normal now relies on prayer. Thanks, Metra. Almost immediately after the SC-44s came into operations on both the Surfliner and the Cascade service, Metra swiped up Amtrak's F-59 PHIs, despite the fact that Amtrak wanted to keep them for a little bit longer than they ultimately actually did. Fortunately, the SC-44s, at least for the Surfliner service, have been working better than they were when they were initially delivered. Unfortunately, at least according to 5008 Creations, it appears that Caltrans has really bad blood with Siemens, likely because of the SC-44s and the San Joaquin's Venture coaches. Regardless, their performance have improved significantly, even if rail fans have the same liking for the SC-44s and the Siemens Charger family in general as Arethusa does with me. Well, when I first got Arethusa anyways.
I did feel something. Caltrain is tomorrow. Hey, if you want after your call, you can call back on...
To anyone about to yell at me, yes, I now realize that that's actually an MPXpress. You know, the locomotive that 5008 Creations has had beef with since he was a kid.
On
I think.
Not Zoom, but whatever it's called.
892.
Okay? Alright. Duo. Okay, bye. Bye. Tom. Hey, I'm good. Everything is going according to plan somehow.
It's now 10:10 a.m. and the Coast Starlight is now departing Union Station.
Here we go.
Moving. You have to record?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Over there's a Metrolink F125. EMD built the F125s as a Tier 4 competitor to the Siemens Charger, but they have been less reliable than the Chargers, even if railfans don't hate the F125s with the same seething, burning passion as they do with the Chargers.
Oh, there's a Charger. $170 and $169.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard Amtrak's train number 14, the northbound Coast Starlight. My name is Casey. I'm the lounge car attendant for this trip. The lounge car is located on the lower level of the observation car. But folks, with that that being said, lounge car is open to serving, and I hope you have a great day.
I didn't think it was the best.
We pass a small LACMTA A light rail maintenance and storage yard. This yard stores and maintains the light rail trains of the LACMTA A line. It used to serve the L line, but these days it's the A line.
Alright, welcome aboard Amtrak 14, service to Seattle. It's a long trip, ladies and gentlemen, so sit back, enjoy your journey. Lots of beautiful sights to look out as we travel through. Please make sure you wear those masks at all times.
We're passing by the Metrolink Central Maintenance Facility. This is the main maintenance facility for all Metrolink trains, as a lot of Metrolink's equipment, both old and new, are maintained here. There's also some retired equipment that is also stored here too, and we'll see that in a few seconds.
Scan your tickets if they haven't been scanned already. Please have them out ready.
Hey.
If they're on your phone, please have your phone turned on and bright. Please scan the ticket.
Oh, good timing.
Passenger.
DMV?
Paper ticket, just have that out.
Hi, Mom.
Hang on.
Just scan the barcode. That's all we need. Just your...
That Metrolink locomotive right there is Metrolink F59PH numbered 851. When I made this trip, I had severely limited knowledge about Metrolink's F59PH and F59PHIs, and I had no idea about the history of 851. However, this locomotive that I just initially thought to be some random Metrolink F59PH was actually the first F59PH that was owned by Metrolink. In fact, 5 years after I made this trip, this particular F59PH was donated to the Fullerton Railroad Museum in Fullerton, California. And as of the making of this video, plans call for 851 to eventually be repainted into its original Metrolink livery that it wore back in 1992. I can't wait for that to happen.
Yeah, he's recording.
Yes, the scanning portion of the ticket, either on your electronic device or on...
he just got you on the recording.
With the hats on.
Yeah.
Just come down the hall, just have those hats on. Thank you.
So, are you at the DMV to get your plates? We good?
Do you guys have any questions?
No, we're good. Thanks, Gino. Are you photos?
This area here used to be a yard and shops for steam locomotives from the Southern Pacific. However, after the advent of the diesels and after newer facilities came online, these shops were eventually abandoned.
The conductor's here, so just hang on a second. If he's, I think he's just talking to our neighbors. I was wondering, last trip we never asked us for a ticket.
Downstairs. If you need your room, take it to the door.
Sorry for the delay.
Probably just, last time they probably just knew what your name was, just scanned you in.
Okay. Yeah. All good?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're passing by the Glendale station. It serves the Metrolink and the Pacific Surfliner. The Coast Starlight used to stop here, but after 2005, it stopped serving Glendale.
This is a day ride, yeah. So no.
The area
Well, we
around
decided
this
to get the room
Costco
anyway.
is unfortunately the site of the 2005 Glendale train crash.
Yeah,
On that day, Juan Manuel Alvarez parked his car onto the train tracks, likely intending to commit suicide. However, he eventually abandoned the suicide attempt, but wasn't able to get his car off. Metrolink train 100 struck the car and eventually it derailed, striking Metrolink 901 and another freight train, killing 11 people, including the engineer of the southbound Metrolink 100. The man responsible for the crash is now in prison doing life without parole.
Because we're gonna get up, we're gonna sleep, get up, pack, and then basically spend the whole day on the Caltrain or at the airport.
Yeah.
And Tom's gonna meet us, so Tom's gonna meet us tomorrow morning. He's gonna ride with us on the Caltrain. Okay, good luck. Bye.
Good luck.
Bye.
Ciao.
It's like this. But I remember this beef was good though.
Is that a mechanical bell?
What's that?
No, I thought one of the crossings had a mechanical bell on it. It's mostly graffiti. I think we passed the spot of the Glendale train crash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me anything. How are you gonna tell me?
I think we're gonna arrive in Burbank.
We're passing through the Burbank station. The Coast Starlight does stop at Burbank, but this is the wrong Burbank station.
I did forget to mention one thing regarding the mask. If you do have a private sleeper room, there is no problem taking your mask off in your private sleeping room.
With the door closed.
So if you're eating, drinking, or in the comfort of your private sleeping room, masks may be taken off. Those three exceptions. Thank you for cooperating with that rule. We all can't wait till the mask mandate is lifted. I guess as long as we all follow these rules, the sooner we can get rid of this rule. Thank you for cooperation. Thank you for riding Amtrak.
We are now making our actual Burbank station stop at Hollywood Burbank Airport Station, although formerly it was known as Bob Hope Airport Station. Although it's also sometimes referred to as just Burbank Airport South Station. But I like Hollywood Burbank Airport Station, so we're going with that.
I
You can hear me.
I can, yes.
So I can't hear you. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Also, my grandma from my dad's side called.
She probably turned off her audio again.
Let's try again.
I can't believe I can't figure this out. Okay,
Can't
wait
you
a
like
minute.
text in Google Duo or something?
I don't think so. No. Now we're just on the regular phone call. So I don't know, but clearly everything is working because the phone call is working. So it's it doesn't really make much sense because I mean it might be a problem with Duo. I don't know
Okay.
So you could see the microphone was showing mute? But then I could hear you. There were times when I could hear you, and it was working.
We have
fine on
departed
mine,
Hollywood
you could never
Burbank
hear me.
Airport Station, with our next stop being not
has
too
nothing
far
to do with
off
that microphone.
at Van Nuys.
That has to
I don't
do
think I
with-
pronounced that correctly, did I?
I don't know. I mean, I don't even. Well, yeah, we're in our own room, you know. And they're not making any announcements right now. Harrison's recording, so I shouldn't stay on the phone too long. But I just wanted to. Well, wow, that's great. What kind of car? But yeah, so that's the train that Harrison's wanted to ride for a real long time, and then after that, in the evening, we take a flight home. United flies us home.
We're now making our next stop at Van
And tomorrow's
Nuys.
actually our
After this stop,
anniversary.
it will be all the
First
way
one,
to
it's the
Simi
first.
Valley.
Yeah. Well, we celebrate typically the second one, but the first year. So it's May.
Just before departing Van Nuys, I went to the lounge car, and just in time to depart Van Nuys for Simi Valley. Speaking of which, currently only Amtrak and Metrolink stop at Van Nuys, but in the future it will be part of the San Fernando Valley Light Rail, as well as the Sepulveda Transit Corridor of the LACMTA.
After Los Angeles, thank you for choosing Amtrak. We're happy to have you. Just make sure you wear your mask at all time. Only take them off if you're eating or drinking.
This is the Chatsworth station. It serves the Metrolink's Ventura County line as well as the Pacific Surfliner, but Amtrak's Coast Starlight does not stop here. This area here at Chatsworth, California is unfortunately the site of the deadliest crash on Metrolink. On September 12, 2008, Metrolink train 111 was traveling northbound while a Union Pacific local was traveling southbound. However, because of the engineer being distracted while texting and driving, the train ran through a red signal and collided with the Union Pacific freight at what could have been the worst possible area to see another train heading straight for your train. 25 people, including the engineer of the Metrolink train, ultimately died in the crash. In fact, that collision is why positive train control is now a standard for railroads across America. And also probably the same reason you don't see SP 4449 and SP&S 700 on the main line anymore. We're now traveling through several tunnels on Susana Pass. This part of the line was built as what was originally known as the Montalvo Cutoff. Prior to this, the main Southern Pacific line was a line through Santa Clarita, which was very twisty and bendy. The Montalvo Cutoff not only had a much shorter and straighter connection, but also served farmers in Oxnard, California. The Montalvo Cutoff and the Chatsworth Cutoff, which we took from Burbank to Chatsworth, make up what's now part of the Coast Line, and the main line for both Amtrak and Metrolink.
Where you at?
I'm
Sleeper?
in the sleeper car,
Did you scan your ticket?
Yeah, she scanned the ticket.
Sorry, what's the last name?
This is the Santa Susana Tunnel. This tunnel ultimately allowed for the Montalvo Cutoff and the Chatsworth Cutoff to connect and allow for the main line that we are traveling over right now. We are slowing down because we are going into a siding outside of Simi Valley Station. Simi Valley Station is a single-tracked line, although there are plans to eventually turn the station into a double-tracked station. As of the making of this video, that second track has yet to be constructed. After waiting for a couple of minutes and going to the back of the train, eventually the train that we were waiting for, a Pacific Surfliner train, passes by. Now that the line's clear, let's head to Simi Valley. These signals that you see over there are what are known as tri-light signals. The tri part is essentially because they are arranged like a triangle. Red is on bottom, while yellow and green are on top. After we arrived at Simi Valley, I then decided to go back into the lounge car and take video from there. The audio went out for some reason, but just as the audio comes in, we pass by a Metrolink car storage yard.
Truth. This way. No, mommy, this way.
In addition, some of the crossings that we're going to pass by on this line, at least when I made the trip, had mechanical bells. However, a lot of those crossings have since gotten their bells replaced with e-bells. 2 years after I made this trip, there was unfortunately an accident along this section of the line. A Coast Starlight train pulled by ALC 42-300 and P42DC 74 hit a water truck at a private crossing along here. Fortunately, there were no fatalities, but both lead locomotives were severely damaged and a lot of the cars behind them were derailed. But despite the fact that the wreck could have been fatal, a lot of rail fans started celebrating because the lead locomotive was a Charger and it got wrecked. I'm starting to think that Gaming Rail Fanner has a point. A lot of the passenger cars that were involved in the incident were ultimately repaired, but neither 74 nor 300 have been put back into service as of the making of this video. While 74 is the least likely to return to service given the fact that the P42s are being retired, I see no updates on whether 300 will be repaired and put back into service after the incident. Supposedly, the damage is substantial enough that Amtrak could repair it, but that'll likely have to depend on a lot of other factors, including maintenance money. We have now crossed Los Angeles Avenue, aka Highway 118. We will head slightly southwest for a bit before eventually heading due west, and eventually going back up north once we reach Oxnard. We are racing through farm country. Despite a lot of the LA basin being urbanized and therefore a lot of the fertile farmland being replaced with urban housing, there are still plenty of areas where things like fruit are still grown in Southern California. Yeah.
Thank you.
Camarillo Station. We're not stopping here.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Danny Car Fair. If you have an 11:30 lunch reservation, please make your way to the Danny Car.
We just passed the Rice Street crossing, where one of the most infamous train versus truck collisions was caught on camera. On Valentine's Day of 2005, a strawberry truck was driving over the crossing. However, the driver got confused and stopped on the crossing just as the Pacific Surfliner was headed through. The Pacific Surfliner, led by Amtrak 458, plowed through the truck, demolishing it. And it was all caught on camera.
The railroad barriers come down and every vehicle clears the track. Every vehicle except one. An Amtrak train packed with passengers slams into a semi-truck.
A collision is inevitable. Just moments after the horrific impact, the lucky driver and her dog emerge unscathed.
Amtrak 458 was eventually repaired, but because that whole Amtrak purchased some chargers, so Metra thought that they were free real estate and forced Amtrak to give it to them thing I mentioned earlier. Eventually, Amtrak 458 was retired from Amtrak and now serves Metra. We've now reached Oxnard Station, and our next stop in a couple of minutes will soon enough be Santa Barbara.
Alright. Got the last seat. Wait, I thought we were going the other way. Where's the old company? I don't know. That says seating closed.
CPCO44 Oxnard. complicated borrowing their phone.
These are the main attraction spots.
Yeah, the stuff is back at home. And I don't live in California.
Safe? Yeah. Just feel awkward without my own walker. I do have to bring it. Food is in the next part. There's also, I think that's Wunpost, like.
That spur coming off of this line goes to the East Ventura Metrolink station, as well as what once used to be the Fillmore and Western Railroad. These days, the line of what used to be the Fillmore and Western is now the Sierra Northern.
By
Yeah, on the
what?
side track, we had to wait for a couple of trains to pass.
Geez, that must have taken a while.
Unfortunately, by this point, what was at that point my only camera battery was running low on juice, so I had to switch to using my phone again. I'm also back in our sleeper car, where I'm charging my battery.
Pretty foggy. Or is that smog?
It's definitely fog. controls.
We were talking a little while ago about some of these silver linings.
If you wish.
Sure, just let me post it. Just let me film a bit more.
Okay.
Then you can tell me. Those must be a lot of happy campers.
What?
Those must be a lot of happy campers.
Happy campers. Nice.
Mechanical bell. No, not really.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Hot springs or something. It's hot. Got steam coming up.
I don't think we're on a mountain.
Yes, you don't have to be on a mountain to have hot springs. Not exclusive though.
Well, I don't think it's as terribly creaky as the last one.
This is called Santa Claus Beach.
Huh. Wonder if there was a sighting of Santa Claus on here. On there.
The problem is this water is still that dang old cold water. Dang old man, dang old man.
Yeah.
Man, that water dang old cold, man. Rachel says hello, my cousin.
Hello. Indeed.
If you do step off the train, please stay close to the train. Do not go into the station. Do not walk around.
We are now about to make our stop at Santa Barbara. However, it won't be that long of a stop.
We'll leave without you. You can stay in Santa Barbara tonight. It's a beautiful town. If you want to continue on, please stay close to the train. Listen for the all aboard. This is Santa Barbara, folks. Santa Barbara, the station stop.
Santa Barbara. parking. Santa Claus. Are you okay?
Yep. Now that we're at the Santa Barbara station, I decide to step off of the train. I soon got back on the train and started using my DSLR again. However, this wouldn't exactly last very long.
I'm glad you got your seat back. It was very nice of you to get up for that lady. No, I'm glad you got your seat back. It was very nice of you to get up for that blind lady. I was just going to tell you that.
Thank you.
We are now departing Santa Barbara. Our next stop will be San Luis Obispo.
Please remember, masks need to be worn at all times. Federal regulations this time. Only time masks to be taken off are while you're actively eating or drinking. That goes for all of us, including the crew. So, I know it's uncomfortable, but please keep those on at this time. Unless you're actively eating or drinking.
now once again charging my camera battery and using my phone. This area, along with so many other places between Oxnard and San Luis Obispo, is why you get the coast part in Coast Starlight.
Coast Starlight. For dessert, I have a brownie, a blondie with like a coffee brownie, and a pudding.
Cheers.
Cheers, Dad. Jeez, what's that out in the sea around that boat?
That's probably why that boat is there, I'm guessing.
Maybe.
Asian noodles are pretty so-so.
Huh?
The Asian noodles are pretty so-so.
Yeah.
You had them?
No. Look, we're crossing a bridge.
What kind of bridge?
Probably a steel bridge.
I was hoping you were recording because the bridge.
I am recording.
The bridge are hanging right there in front of your camera.
It is recording. It was recording. Oh, man, I missed half of it.
What happened?
We were going over a bridge that I recognized from America by Rail.
Oh.
And yes, I do indeed have all 4 of the America by Rail DVDs, in case you were wondering.
Or at least this one video on YouTube of the Southern Pacific in its final days.
So when you did the tap on the first gate, Harrison?
Yeah?
Did it move forward or did it not move forward at all? Because I heard the machine accept your tap. I heard a ding or something.
I think it may have been moving backwards rather than forward. Yeah.
Because it was weird, because then it didn't really seem to move forward at all. Because the one thing I'll tell you is, like, it almost stuck me last time. And so I decided to put my luggage through first.
Did that work?
Yeah, no, luggage through like before I even tapped.
Oh.
Yes, that worked. But the other option is to, I mean, you're paying for a person, right? The luggage just goes with the person. So just make sure you get through, and then you'll figure out how to get the. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Oscar.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome.
So dinner, do we need to worry about that now, or we'll worry about it?
The same as I did lunch. I'll come through later on and take it.
Alright, Harrison, whenever you're ready.
Does anyone hear a little? Does anyone hear me a chuckle when I mentioned my son's
What?
biggest
Here's a photo of me having lunch, even if it wasn't very good. After lunch, we then went back to the room we were staying to watch the scenery go by.
Some tasty waves.
Sure. Mechanical bell.
What?
I said mechanical bell.
Did you get a picture of that? That thing?
I got a video. I'm getting video.
This is cool, but it looks cold. Looks like it's like open and very windy.
Huh? No, not right now.
We also passed by a lot of old poles with wires on them. I presume they may have been poles for wires that connected to old semaphores, as well as wigwag signals that used to be connected along this line. There have been a lot of videos made along this line prior to the 1990s, and in those pre-1990s videos, there used to be semaphores and even a couple of wigwags. However, since the 90s and 2000s, all those semaphores and wigwags disappeared. And I believe that these old poles used wires that connected to those old semaphores as well as the wigwags.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your dining car store. At this time, the dining car is going to be closing up. I'm going on my lunch break. The dining car will
As we head closer and closer towards San Luis Obispo, we're eventually going to leave the coast behind and head into the mountains.
What's cool?
The scenery. Did you get it?
On video, yeah, not on photo. I think there's a horse down there. M-Bell. That's short. That's my short term for mechanical bell. Just that you don't see mechanical bells often. At least in like urban cities but they are somewhat common in the countryside.
Yeah, RTD, do they pass all the federal regulation tests and all that stuff?
I believe so. I don't think they've had a major accident.
Oh, a testing violation?
No.
Because they had a bunch of testing violations. See what I mean about the wind? Look at that tree. The wind.
Oh yeah. I get what you're talking about.
Maybe that's what they call the Santa Ana wind.
That's an old oil rig up there. At least an old oil pump thingy.
whatever on earth you call them, whatever on earth it's called.
Then you see that you got that tree, which was like normal.
Yeah. Well, you do know a lot, Dad. Way more than me.
Put a mall right there. That'd be good, huge mall.
Don't. I think it's better for if it were left.
How about here?
No, I think it'd be better left alone or used for farming. Besides, I don't want. Besides,
look at this
farm.
beautiful little valley here.
Yeah.
All those trees growing. What did I say the name of this place was? Santa
Well, I
Maria?
think.
Santa Maria?
Yeah, maybe. Those are a couple of cows. And in India, they would be more important than your life.
Man, if I was a cow, it's a lot of work to get this far out.
Here, I think here comes a long one. Oh, a short one. Or maybe he honks randomly.
Here's my random signal to everybody. hope you randomly interpret it correctly.
Or maybe there are some areas on the track where you have to whistle. Because there are whistle signs in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Not just crossings.
We are now arriving at San Luis Obispo. It is the northern terminus of the Pacific Surfliner. During the days of the Southern Pacific, especially during the steam era, San Luis Obispo used to be a helper base for trains traveling over Cuesta Pass.
Maybe.
However, the helper base and the roundhouse where those helpers would have been based are now long gone.
There, you know, like from the SP. And they kind of wish that the okay, not every railroad museum requires a steamy, but just get a feeling that maybe
A lot of people getting on.
I can tell. San Luis Obispo must be a popular stop. COVID or no COVID.
Smooth.
Since we have a lot longer of a stop here at San Luis Obispo, we decided to get off of the train for a bit to walk around.
You want to get off for some fresh air?
Yep.
good. Oh, sorry.
The two leading locomotives are back-to-back twins, 169 and 170. They were both built in the year 2000. We got back on the train. Dad, though, took a little bit longer because he was using the bathroom in the station. Though he did panic when the train blew its warning horn that it was going to leave pretty soon. But it's a warning horn and not the actual horn. Had been two short horns, he would have been screwed.
Are you worried? You saw me.
I was a bit worried. Other than that, no,
I gotta be
not
honest.
really.
From the way they described it, I thought they were staying longer.
Yeah.
You know, I was in the toilet, and I heard the horn. I'm not missing the train because of being on the toilet. So I was like, so what's
the toilet in the station?
Yeah.
Why would you use the toilet in the station?
Just because it's better.
Now that we've left San Luis Obispo, we're going to head over Cuesta Pass and reach our next stop in Paso Robles. Please don't judge me if I did not pronounce any of that correctly.
CP0248 and San Luis Obispo. I think we have 2 more stops before we reach San Jose.
Really? That's it? 2 more stops?
They are a distance from one another.
Yeah.
Clang, 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 clang. And it'll also take a bit because we're going to go through some mountains.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard
Yes.
14, the Coast Starlight, northbound, final destination out of Seattle, Washington.
Tunnels and everything?
Yep. They aren't.
Next stop in a little over an hour will be Paso Robles. Please communicate over radio.
There aren't any bathrooms in the food service cars.
So again, ladies and gentlemen, mask must be worn at all times unless you are actively eating or drinking or indirect involvement in a safety required section does not affect that the mask would affect.
Yeah, we're going to go through some tunnels. They aren't as long as the tunnels in Colorado, but they'll most likely be enough to cut you from.
I went into the bathroom and then while I was in there, the horn went off.
Was it a Longhorn?
Yeah.
Longhorn basically means, hey, you have to get on board if you're on the train.
Yeah, but that's what I did. Yeah. So I was considering that the all aboard signal.
It's a good thing you did. Otherwise I'd probably would have gone worried and
I would have to find some way to meet you in San Fran.
I would have probably pulled the brake.
Hey, me editing this in the future, I wasn't being serious about that line, but that was something I actually did do once in the past, and that almost got me into a lot of trouble. I actually do know far better than to just pull the emergency brake when either one member of your family or if your entire family isn't on the train with you. Also, as a friendly reminder, if you're going to make a joke about something, preferably don't mention an event that almost got you into serious trouble with authorities or whatnot.
Maybe.
Are you...
Never mind.
Why in the world would you do that? Haven't you learned that lesson?
I did, but...
It's not a valid reason. You can't do anything you want because it's most convenient to you. You know, if that were the case, if I missed the train, that's my screw up. That doesn't mean because I screwed up, everybody has to, like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes, Dad.
Don't think like that.
Yes, Dad.
I don't think you should. Next time if ever you pull that emergency thing again, this should be a really good reason, and it shouldn't be just because your dad screwed up.
Yes, Dad. Searchlights. Man, that tunnel must... There's a blocked up tunnel right there. You missed it. All that smoke pouring out the diesel Greta Thunberg must be really angry.
Yeah, I don't know why they built that tunnel. They could have just gone around. Right?
Right.
I mean, they must have taken out part of that hill or something, because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, or maybe that tunnel collapsed and they didn't bother fixing it.
Yeah, well, that probably is what happened with the tunnel. But I'm saying, like, why would you even build the tunnel if you only needed to go a few feet further and just go around it, like, you know?
Yeah.
And then if the tunnel collapsed, and you were saying, oh well, let's just use this open path here. I'm just saying, like, you could have had that thought in the beginning. So they must have. I think they must have torn down part of that hill.
We've made it back onto Flatlands now, so we can go a little bit faster.
Maybe it's because you have to go slowly through here. So far, no freight train interference.
Can we go through Monterey?
We go through Salinas, which is next to Monterey. SP used to have a branch to Monterey, but that closed after Amtrak took over.
Here's a fun fact. I actually went to Monterey with my family back in 2016. I also got diarrhea there, and I had a way worse experience with that than most of my other diarrhea experiences. Usually it'd end with more frequent trips to the bathroom, but unfortunately for me, it didn't that time. I was at the hotel's pool, and all of a sudden I got an urge to shit badly. But for some fucking reason, the hotel had doors where even if you put in your key cards for the hotel, you needed like some precise movement to push the door handle so that the door would open. And because I had diarrhea, I obviously couldn't have time to do any precise anything of that. And because I had diarrhea, I was panicking, and therefore I ultimately shit myself. Literally. I don't know about you, but the next time I go to a hotel that has doors designed that way, and I end up shitting myself again, I'm suing the hell out of that hotel.
Of course you can't get that on the plane because
the same situation. Yeah, no, I understand. But the plane has specific risk because of the altitude, right?
Right.
Down here we don't have that risk. We have the risk of cold or hot, or well, it's not gonna be hot, but bad air. It could be like smoky air, right, or something like that. But so yeah, I understand that, but I still think there should be. And maybe there is. You just have to ask one of the conductors, and they'll go open that little window for you, right? You can open that little window. And I thought I remembered, like in our route from Denver to San Francisco, I thought I remembered that there was a window that you could open, like a passenger could open. Either that or it was always open, because I remember maybe there were smokers hanging out down there or something. I just remember it something, you know, on that train.
Huh?
There's a flag.
Yeah.
But that was really sweet, that lunch meal. Beautiful view of the ocean.
It was indeed an amazing ocean view.
Sorry folks, now arriving Paso Robles. Paso Robles will be a quick stop. If this is not your stop, please do not attempt to step off the train. Again, this is Paso Robles. Now arriving, we hope you enjoyed Charles Amtrak's Costa today.
Dad, what's that about?
Voicemail that a congressman is under scrutiny for.
As we depart Paso Robles, our next stop will be Salinas.
That was a quick stop. Man, that's a lot of oil wells. And quite a few abandoned ones as well.
You try this here.
Okay, thank you.
station number, and now it doesn't show tomorrow. Well, maybe it was the next day. Not every day. Homelessness, Harrison, is a really sad thing, but there's a lot of issues around it. It's not like you like to say, I know you've done it many times, and you expect us to solve this problem. I don't think anybody expects the problem to be solved. I think people just want a more humane treatment. I mean, people are homeless for a variety of reasons. Sometimes they don't really want to do the things that are needed for a person to, make a home. And in that sense, it's a lost cause.
Again,
again, ladies and gentlemen, now arriving.
We are now arriving at Salinas, which is basically the Monterey stop for the Coast Starlight. There actually used to be a rail line that went directly to Monterey, but in 1971 when Amtrak came into existence, the only train that went to Monterey was discontinued, and Amtrak didn't pick that train up. So therefore, that line was ultimately abandoned.
I'll stay.
Currently, only the Coast Starlight serves the station. However, there are currently plans to bring Caltrain from its current terminus at Gilroy all the way down to Salinas, as well as bring the Capital Corridor all the way from San Jose to Salinas as well.
I keep getting twisted around. Did you see me out there?
No. All I did was text if you were on board. Yeah. Here we go.
We have departed Salinas, and our next stop will finally be San Jose, at least as of the making of this video. Why? Well, you'll see.
Not very hygienic and gross. People, I'm anti-stinky feet. Second, you know, especially when passing festivals for all of you who do wish to keep your pinky toe. So again, ladies and gentlemen, and the third thing, of course, is wear your mask. Wear your mask. Wear your mask at all times unless you are actively eating or drinking. Again, masks must be worn at all times aboard the train. We appreciate your cooperation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for that.
See if the text comes across here. See what happens in her brain. You were saying you're talking about going left or right and going to the engines. I got totally twisted around again. But yeah, we're on the left side of the train, so anytime we go right, we're going to the front. Usually the exit's on the left side of the train, yeah. This white fabric or whatever it is that they put on this thing is interesting, you know? Looked like plastic, but it could have been like a fabric. Probably designed to have plants go through it.
We have made it to Pajaro, Watsonville, where the Southern Pacific had a branch to Santa Cruz here that's now owned by the Santa Cruz Big Trees and Pacific. Currently, it's not really much, and there is a tiny yard here, but in the future, plans are to have a new station that serves Pajaro and Watsonville called, well, Pajaro Watsonville, where the Capital Corridor, Coast Starlight, and Caltrain would ultimately serve this station. As of the making of this video, construction for this station is set to begin in 2027, next year. We'll have to wait and see what happens on that front, though.
Cool.
We had dinner and then we entered Caltrain territory at Gilroy, the southern terminus of all Caltrain operations. We are currently traveling through Morgan Hill.
Done.
Not too far from, well, I guess with the big lake farther, but it's 8 o'clock. It's like, what, 9:40, 50? Oh, excuse me, jeez. Go burp. Go burp. A little bit. Harrison sent that text, and I was on the train, and I'm like, you know, oh, why'd you send that in the group? Your mom's gonna freak out. I said, well, since you sent it, I said I'll throw a little fuel on the fire.
Mechanical bell.
Anyway, so yeah, we're out. It's kind of like getting our last little light here. It's, you know, almost 8 o'clock and it's starting to get dark. Train's not too far behind. Half hour, 25 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So we'll probably get into Oakland around 10 and then, you know, get a lift over to our hotel across the bridge.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Let me see my son for you.
Hello, Mom. How are you?
Oh no, he's on the express. I'm on the local, Luz. He's not here.
Wait a minute. I'm on the express.
Yeah, he's on the express.
I was like, alright, don't
We've now made it to San Jose's Diridon station. It serves the Capital Corridor, A's, as well as the Coast Starlight and Caltrain, as the bulk of Caltrain's operations also start and stop at Diridon.
You got this. There you go.
While some passengers did need step stools, for me, that was an option. So I jumped, though I kinda landed a bit wrong and it kinda hurt one of my legs. Although it's dark right now, over there a Caltrain train is headed into San Jose's Diridon. Although Caltrain is massively successful now, especially with electrification that I'll mention in the next part, when I made this trip almost a couple of months prior, Caltrain was so close to ceasing to exist entirely. Because of COVID, the vast majority of ridership dried up, and because a lot of their budget came from ticket sales, that meant a lot of their revenue was gone just like that. Caltrain stated that if they didn't get the funds necessary, then at the end of 2020, they would have likely shut down. However, San Francisco voters ultimately voted yes on a proposal for a permanent budget, enabling Caltrain to gain a steady source of revenue. And today, it is able to use that source of revenue to keep operations going, as well as with electrification. This pole right here would ultimately support the catenary for the Caltrain. When I made this trip though, it had nothing on it.
So I don't see any other logical reason. Always smells good when you step on board.
Yeah, it smells very good. No, that's true.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, why is it like 10,000 degrees?
Or you can bring a little ballot.
Hey, Gino, these are gonna be to-goes, brother. Gino, these are to-goes.
I'll see you guys later. You guys ready to get on your car?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, thanks.
Now that we've completed our station stop, servicing, and possible crew change too, we are now ready to depart San Jose.
Well, as you know,
The good news is that our next station stop at Oakland, which we will get off at, is only a little over an hour away. The bad news? Well, you'll see.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Amtrak 14, the Coast Starlight. Next stop in about a little over an hour will be Oakland, Jack London Square. When you know the stop, you're allowed to get off and smoke at. Get them while you can.
Yeah, on Google Maps.
Apparently we're 6.9 miles away here. It says here 30 minutes by train, but they might be talking about like local trains.
Here at Elmhurst, we had to slow down, not just because of the curve, but because, well, this. Now I definitely know the reason why the Coast Starlight at one point had the nickname Starlight. There was a line-side fire, and it was pretty dangerous for the train to go past it, let alone a passenger train. So we had to sit here for at least an hour, and at one point we were going to be there overnight, had the engineer not negotiated with the fire chief.
Does the city of Oakland even know how to keep their crap together? Woo!
Finally, though, we were allowed to leave. However, since this was probably a code violation, I had to eventually get myself back inside the car.
Oh, sorry.
Or at the very least, I was leaning too far out the window. We're finally arriving at Oakland's Jack London Square. In the past, the Southern Pacific had a downtown Oakland station to supplement its main Oakland station at Oakland 16th Street. However, those shuttle trains ultimately ceased to be. But it wasn't complete doom and gloom yet. In the 80s, there were plans to develop a station at the Jack London Square area, and in 1989, the Loma Prieta earthquake finally gave them that opportunity. Work began in 1991, and the station was opened in 1995, 1 year after 16th Street Station closed forever in 1994. This station is a stop for the Capital Corridor and Coast Starlight, and is the terminus for what used to be the San Joaquins, but is now called the Gold Runner. The California Zephyr also used to terminate at Oakland Jack London Square, but issues with straight running ultimately truncated service back to Emeryville.
Chris needs me there. I really need this.
There is also a statue of C.L. Dellums, one of the leaders of the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. However, their story is way too long to dissect in a couple of seconds, but I would highly recommend watching Train of Thought's video on the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. After a bit, the train would finally depart Oakland with its final stop in Seattle. We've made it to Oakland, but we won't be quite done yet, as tomorrow we will finally be able to ride on the Caltrain.
Back in the train.
Oh, distance services. You know, it wasn't like they were going.